You ever hear a story so wild it sounds made up, but then you realize, nah, life is just that crazy? Well, let me tell you what happened at the Alvarez estate, because what started with a 7-year-old millionaire's kid biting the maid ended up turning that whole mansion upside down, changing every single person who lived and worked there. No, I'm not exaggerating. The first time I heard the cries echoing through those gold-trimmed halls, I figured, hey, just another tantrum from a spoiled kid, right? Not even close. So there's Ethan, tiny and fierce, clamped onto the arm of Clara, the new maid, like his life depends on his teeth literally breaking her skin. Blood dripping, grown folks running around in circles, Rosa, the cook yelling for Mr. Alvarez, Hector the chauffeur trying to step in, but backing off every time Ethan lets out this guttural animal growl. Like something you'd hear in the woods at night, not a kid's birthday party. It was chaos, yeah, but the wildest part? Clara, this slim, soft-spoken young woman who'd only been there 2 weeks, just lets him. Doesn't fight, doesn't cry. Instead, she kneels right there on those cold tiles, places her hand gentle as you please on his back, and whispers, "It's all right, Ethan. Just breathe. Let me talk to you." You'd expect her to scream or shove him off, but she talks about pain, her own pain. His pain says she's not mad at him, just wants him to know she's not leaving. And little by little, the death grip softens, the whole room holding its breath. Next thing you know, Ethan's sobbing in her arms, real sobs, the kind that rip straight from your chest, not the kind you fake to get candy. Rosa is crossing herself. Hector's wiping his eyes, and up on the staircase, Victor Alvarez, himself owner of the place, stands shaking like a leaf. See, Ethan hadn't spoken, smiled, or touched anybody since his mom died in that awful car wreck 2 years back. 6 therapists, all of them sent packing, sometimes with bite marks as souvenirs. But Clara, in just minutes, gets through where the pros failed. You know what I mean? That's the first twist. But not everybody was thrilled. Marissa Vega, the fancy child therapist Victor had hired 6 months ago, she's standing in the doorway with this look in her eye. Says it's strange how quick Ethan changed, says she's worried. Even whispers to Victor maybe Clara's pulling some psychological trick, pushing Ethan into a crisis just to play the savior. Now, I didn't go to 6 years of grad school for this, but that sounds fishy, right? Meanwhile, Clara's just doing her job, showing Ethan these little handmade flashcards, actually starts using them, picking the red heart card, even managing a shy smile. That house hadn't seen a smile in ages. But Marissa? She's burning up inside. And here's where it gets mean. She slips those cards into her bag, quietly sabotaging Clara's breakthrough. Not even 10 minutes pass before Ethan goes looking for the cards, can't find them, starts melting down, headbanging, howling, the whole place in uproar again. Marissa just stands there, fake pity oozing off her, acting like Clara's ruined the kid for good. The next days are poison. Marissa plants doubts all over his staff, Rosa, the other maids, even Victor. Whispers that Clara's got designs on the widower, that she's too pretty, too neat for a regular maid. Next thing you know, folks are side-eyeing Clara, getting cold. She feels it but keeps her head down, does her job, loves that boy like her own. Thin Bama gold bracelet goes missing, turns up in Clara's uniform. Marissa claims she found it. Victor's torn, wants to believe Clara, but the evidence is right there in his hand. Clara pleads, swears on everything, but what can you say when all the facts line up against you? Then, as if that wasn't enough, Marissa pulls the ultimate move. Steals a diamond necklace out of Victor's late wife's locked room, plants it in Clara's bag, and accuses her of sneaking in after hours. This time Victor doesn't just doubt, explodes. Tells Clara to leave, right there in front of everyone, rips the uniform off her back. Man, that was a cold scene. And Ethan, poor kid, sees it all from his window, pounding the glass, screaming for the only person who ever made him feel safe. After that, the whole mansion falls into this thick shadow. Ethan won't eat, won't move. At night, he's back to hurting himself. Victor's a wreck. 3 days pass. Then one morning, Victor finds Ethan's room covered in frantic crayon drawings, always the same. A woman cradling a child, and beside them a shadow hiding cards behind its back. Victor finally asks, "Who is this?" Ethan points Marissa. Suddenly it clicks. Victor tears through Marissa's car, finds the lost cards, and it all adds up. Marissa set Clara up, sabotaged Ethan, manipulated everyone. Now, this is where you start rooting for the underdog, because Victor, no longer the stuffy rich guy, sets up hidden cameras, gets video of Marissa abusing and gaslighting Ethan. Next day, he takes it all to the police. Marissa gets arrested right in that fancy living room, still shouting about her professionalism, while the staff finally realize who the real villain is. Victor rushes to find Clara, tracks her down to the rundown part of town where she lives with her mom, and at first, Clara won't see him, but Victor, this actually happened, gets on his knees in the street, in front of half the neighborhood, and begs forgiveness. Shows Clara and her mother the proof, clears her name right there in the open. Even so, Clara's scared. What if I come back and people talk? But at that exact moment, Ethan comes bursting in, says her name, his very first word in years. The whole block goes quiet. Everyone realizes the truth. Back at the Alvarez house, Clara returns not as a maid, but as family, and tells a story about her own brother, how special kids choose their person, and that's sacred, you don't mess with that. Victor asks Clara to stay, not as help, but as Ethan's second mother. And in that crowded little living room, it all just falls into place. Clara says yes. Ethan's face lights up. Victor finally smiles for real. From then on, the Alvarez estate changes. Clara guides Ethan, helps him find his words, his joy, and, slowly, Victor's heart. Months pass. Clara and Victor fall for each other, get married in the garden. Nothing fancy, just the people who matter. Ethan is the ring bearer, proud as can be. Then comes a baby sister, and Ethan, who once couldn't stand to be touched, sings her sleep, promises to protect her always. Last scene, picture this. Family on the porch, sun setting. Ethan leans into Clara, says, "Now we're the happiest family in the whole world." And you can feel it, right? After all that hurt, all those lies, they made something real. But hey, what do you think? Was justice served, or did it come too late? Would you have trusted Clara, or believed the evidence? Tell me your take, because stories like this, they always split a room. So here, do you stand on forgiveness and truth? Let's hear it.